Patrick's in the kitchen. Come here so you can see where you're at. Okay. Put it right here, baby. That good?
Okay, so I've been talking to that.
Yeah, just.
All right. So you chop this up and do all your delete and stuff like that. All right, first of all, my hand is already washed. Meat is already washed. Seasoned, vegetables already cut up. Season that we need is already prepared. So this is for the girls, Trish, Treasure, Doreen, and whoever else. But anyway, we're going to cook pork chop, okay? It's going to be a different season, but for right now, different processes, but for right now, we're just going to work on getting it seasoned to get it tasty, all right? All right, so the first thing we're going to do, let's get some seasoning on here.
What you got? You got to show it.
Seasoned salt, basically. Basically seasoned salt. I don't know if y'all guys can see it. Seasoned salt. Any seasoned salt is good. All right. Any seasoned salt is good. Just not too much sodium in it, but lightly season your meat. All right. So we're done with that. If you don't have whole garlic, you want to get some chopped garlic or granulated garlic. That's another thing that just goes for your taste. Once again, just right, put it over your meat.
And that's not garlic salt, that's garlic powder.
Garlic powder, not salt. So garlic salt can ruin your food. Powder, okay? Okay. For a little bit of spice, we're just gonna put a little bit of crushed pepper on there. Real simple. Don't put a whole lot. Just put it on there. Just get the raw out of your meat. Just give it so much. Just a little more seasoning on it, make it taste a lot better. Okay? Crushed peppers.
Bring the plate right here.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay? Again, this meat, sometimes you might want to get a larger bowl. There's more pork chop in this than we have, but we're going to cook the whole thing since we already got started. Okay, we already got that done. We already got that. Garlic salt, we don't need that right now. And just a little bit of onion powder, just a little touch, not a whole lot. And that's ready. We're gonna leave that alone. So we get down here. And what I'm gonna do next is put a little bit of oil on there. You choose what oil you want, I don't care. But that oil is right there just to carry my seasoning on it. I'm gonna set that to the side. And so what I'm gonna do now is put my onion in my food. See that, yeah? So that's the onion. Usually you put all of that, you can put all of it in. You can save some for later, but for right now, I'm gonna just leave that. And so I'm marinating everything together right now. Now if you do this right, if this is done right, when you stir all the meat up and already put everything together, just with the seasoning alone, it should smell good enough to where you just want to eat the meat just the way it is. Okay? Stir it up pretty good. So while you're doing that, you want to go back here. You're going to put some oil in the frying pan and get it nice and warm for you. So we don't even need to marinate it any long time. We're just going to leave it right here just for a second. You're going to wash your hand off a little bit. Okay. Again, if you notice, you see all the onions, you see the tomatoes, you see all this stuff in the food. It's just gonna sit there for a little bit. Of course, you're constantly cleaning while you're cooking. Nobody want no dirty food. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna turn the stove on. Get the stove nice and hot. We still get ready. Everything right here, we're gonna almost repeat everything all over again.
You don't want the stainless steel pot?
Nah, just a regular frying pan would be just fine. Okay, bring it over a little bit. We're gonna get some oil in there. Once again, the oil is your choice. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna set that back down. Gonna get that heat up. Now we're just waiting for that to heat up, okay? So in this size pot, we're only gonna put maybe 3 pieces of meat in there at a time, no more than that, because essentially what you're doing, even though pork chop your thick pork chop, your thin slices. So you got to determine how long you want to keep it in there for. Essentially, what you want to do is halfway braise or cook your pork chop, okay? And so later, because it's another process to it, this is just not flour and you're just cooking it and it's done and fried. Now, this is just a little bit more. So this style here, you're able to keep the juices in it when you eat it, and it doesn't get dry, and you have a good gravy to go with it. Okay, so what's waiting in the meantime, when we get done, I'll put the whole meal together so you can see what it looks like, okay? All right, so while we're waiting on that, we're waiting on the grease to get hot. We got our vegetable over here. We got our meat. You can hear it start to sparkle. Make sure you get a good tongue or a good fork, because what happens sometimes, if you don't, the onion, when you put it in the onion or the tomato, could spark up on you and burn you and stuff like that. So you don't want that. So you want to be very careful with that. Okay, it's not ready yet. And for those of y'all don't know, if you don't know when your meat, your pot is ready, so you can always get it. Put a tip on it like that, just to see where you at. That's not good enough. It ain't ready yet. Okay, so we're gonna watch out for a little bit. You might want to buy a new pot. I just like my pot. This is seasoned right here. This pot don't fail me, so that's what I'm using again. Okay, so we're gonna give that another 30 seconds, and then we're ready to rock and roll. What I want to see you what the color looked like on the meat. So the difference between this, some people could take this very seasoned. This meat can be baked just the way it is. You can take this, put it in the oven, circle it up, but it won't be, by the time you put it in there, there won't be no color in it. So we're gonna start putting color on this right now. So here we go. Okay, we can see the smoke coming. That thing is ready.
Nothing like a man in the kitchen cooking.
So we talk about the onions and that stuff on them. Gotta make sure that it doesn't pop on you. Ready to go. Shake all that off. And we're gonna let that cook down for a little bit. Once again, we just cooking for color. I think they call it braising. I don't call it braising. I call it browning.
Browning, braising.
Now this is a style of meat that you can cook with chicken. You can very well cook this with chicken, pork. Actually, you could do it with fish. It just depends on, you just got to check your time as to how long, how long duration, how you cook it, how you prepare it. But this is one style. If you do this, it's all nutritious. If you choose to cook different meat like this. I don't know if I would cook beef with this. I never tried beef just like this.
Well, that's what we with beef cubes, you would do this, but you would have flour to kind of coat it, still give it color, and then stew it down. So it's going to stew down with that flour, going to help make a base.
As I said, come take a look at this. What I was talking about, the browning. So that's why you got the pot hot enough. So when you see the brown, the meat is seasoned. Okay?
You got another pan to put that in?
Okay, so if you have another pan to cook that.
Oh, you use this frying pan behind you. The cast iron skillet.
Okay.
Just sit it there. Smells so delicious. Pork chop so delicious. Pork chop so delicious.
I'm done. I'm done with that. So watch the heat. And this is a quick meal. Honestly, once this meal is defrosted, it really is a quick meal. It doesn't take a long time. As you can see, both sides are nice and colored. As you can see, nice and brown. We're done with that. Same thing here. As you can tell, now if you have flour on these, they'll be thick and funny to stay a bit longer. Okay. Once again, we're going to take this piece. You got to make sure your skillet is hot enough. You don't want to put the coal with a cold skillet at all. Remember, this can pop up on you and burn you, so you got to be very careful, be aware. You can't be preoccupied when you're doing it. Okay, there we go.